Good morning, Michael Walsh and Roger Norgel here from Norwal Farm. Welcome to our channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, ring the notification bell and hit the like button. That helps our channel. And if you would, please leave us a comment and share this video with a friend. In today's video, we're putting in some more permanent fencing. Fencing off along the wetlands and then around this hayfield behind us, and in anticipation of new pastures. So let's get started, and thanks for joining us today. We've started the permanent fencing project here. See the first post here. And then goes down there, and then there's a gate down there, going down to the pines and up to the highway. So get that started.
It's a hydraulic post driver. It drives those wooden posts into the ground. They're actually tamarack, which when tamarack gets wet, it turns hard. They're almost like concrete, and those are supposed to last 20 to 25 years.
Day 2 of our fencing project. That's what we call the grove, Shoulder Grove. Feed in down there. We're putting a permanent fence all the way around this lot where I've got the other temporary shelter. It goes up all the way up there where they are, but then it cuts across this grove here. Actually, it's cutting across where they're putting that corner post in, and then it goes on up a little bit further. Goes over and then comes down right here. And then also, where they're going across, we're going to extend on over to the driveway for future fencing. So this will all be enclosed with permanent fencing and some gates. There's going to be a gate down here at the corner. So in time, if we graze this, like last fall, we grazed this off after he was done with his hay crop. So we can just have a little gate down there, let him out, and go there. So this is part of what they got started yesterday, and then we'll go show you the rest of it. So this gives you a view where the fence comes down here. That'll be high tensile, and up there at that corner it also goes across to the driveway. And then from this corner over to here is going just to be solid panels like we have on the paddock out there. And across this opening we're going to have a 16-foot gate and an 8-foot gate, so that'll give us 20 inches clearance to get through there. So so that'll make it nice. We're probably going to use this paddock probably for growing lambs. We've had a change in our marketing plan. They like the product, they just want them older. The color of the meat is different on young lambs. The ones we just sent in were only 4 months old. He prefers them 6 to 10 months old. So actually it works out better because we can grow them on pretty much high quality roughage pasture in the summer, and hay and just a little bit of grain in the fall or winter. And then as they get up to weight, probably about 15 to 120 pounds, then we'll shift them over and put them on a hay and grain ration to finish them out that last 20 pounds or so. So that should work well, because in the long run we're going to end up feeding less grain, which that's one of your most expensive inputs when you're raising market animals. So if we can grow them up, that frame will grow, and the Baileys will be excellent feed for that. It's high in protein, and they should do well on that. So I talked to Alex at Slow Food Markets yesterday, and he's very pleased with the quality and the fat covering. He said just younger animals, the color of the meat is just a bit not as red as they like for presentation. So that'll be a good change for us. These are spinning jinnies for the wire for the fence, and as they pull it, then it just lets it out for them. There's 5 strands of wire, and if you look at the post right there, there's 4 knobs, the top one and then 3 bottom ones. Those are electrified, and then there's a one without the knobs. It's just nailed into the post, so we don't electrify all of them. So they get this strung out. Then there's springs that go on the ends that tension it or tighten it. And over time you have to adjust those, keep the tension tight on them. And then these black knobs here on the front end, those are insulator knobs. Those right there, so that protects the wire so it doesn't ground out. So here's the end post, and this is all tightened up here. The springs will be on the other end. But you can see where we are in relationship to the shed. I'm not putting any gates here now, but we can use just a small stretch of temporary fencing and make a gate here with no problem. So this will work a lot better than what we've had in the past. We had to bow the post just a little bit because of the hay bales, which is fine, and it follows this ridge. This is an old fence line, so it's on the higher ground. And then at the end of this line, it goes across, and then it starts there at that corner, goes over to the corner of the pine trees, then it goes all the way up to the highway, and then along there it goes over to right there, just by our drive there. So that's where we started. We come down here, and we've got a gate right here. In anticipation of when this is fenced, we may have a laneway just going straight up to the barn, so we can just drive the livestock up there winter time and when it's lambing time. So we got a gate here. Like I say, it goes down to the corner, then there'll be two gates there. It gives us about, I think, a 30-foot width. There's two 16-foot gates, so they overlap by about 2 feet. So that'll allow for, the large equipment to go through, fertilizer spreader, that type of thing. So that's there. And over here is the wetlands. And we have grazed this before, and I have strung temporary fencing out there, and it's a real pain to do because you have to mow a strip with the walk-behind DR. We can't drive our tractor down there. So it starts over here at the grove, the box elder grove. We're going straight across, and then you can see where that strip is. That will divide this up here, just that side of the gate, because that way we'll have a gate access from this laneway here into each one of these paddocks. So this will be one paddock here. If we need to, we can take the DR and divide it into smaller paddocks. We'll see how that goes. And you can see down there at the corner, we came up along those trees, and we cut left, and then go down, and it goes all the way down, nearly to Abbott Drive. So this gives us 4 paddocks that we can really use. You can see where I've grazed this one off and this one off earlier, and I had to string temporary fencing, and that's the one over there where I tripped on the grapevine and rolled down hill. So I'm not going to miss doing that anymore. So this will be a lot better. Got some really tall grass down there, nearly shoulder high. So I have a friend that he's hauled hay for us. He's got some cattle, so he's going to bring probably 3 500-pound calves over, and we'll run those in there. I'm not sure if I'm going to run them with the sheep or run them ahead of the sheep. They will go after the taller grass. They're different types of grazers. They go for the taller stuff, and then the sheep will go for the lower grass. And then we'll just, I'm not going to do a rotational grazing like every 3 or 4 days. We'll just what they call stock grazing. We'll just put them in here until it gets eaten down. I'm not going to eat it real short, and then we'll just move them on to the next paddock. And there's about 6 acres in this section. Each paddock is about 1.5 acres. So not sure how long it'll take them to graze it down. And there's some cattails out there. I think cattle eat cattails, I'm not sure. But anyway, there's lots of grass out there that they can eat. So it'll be really nice when we get all this fenced up. So this is the first divider fence. It will only be 4 wires high. They'll all be electrified, but it won't be quite as high as this. We'll just come up here, and then this is the one on the outside that's not electrified, and then the top one is. We're just going to go this high for a divider fence. You don't need 5 strands. And then from this post to that post is one of those gates. So when we change paddocks, we don't have to bring them out here in the laneway and take them down. We can just open this gate, let them over. With sheep or cattle too, but you always position the gate in a corner. If you put it in the middle of a fence line, they won't see it. They generally run to a corner. So you always want to position your gates in a corner. We put it up here because the wetlands, it's kind of soft down there, and plus it gets pretty tall. So we thought we'll put it up here on the higher ground where it stays dry and easier for us to access, because this is wide enough to get the tractor through, although it's steep enough I don't want to drive there. But if we have to move a dog feeder through or water tanks, we can just open it up and right up here. Plus the water lines are up here. I'm not sure where they're at right here, but they're up here. So we'll position the water tanks and mineral feeders up here on top. So this is the internal fence line for this first paddock. So that gives us a good sized paddock there. And anxious to get started using this. And down here at the end of this first line along the hay bales, and here's the gateway. We come across, because the fence actually, the old fence line actually shifted and came over and goes down that way. So we want to stay on the high ground. So we come over here, and there's that line. And they went straight, obviously, because they could. They didn't have to follow the ridge. So this will work really well. And then down at that corner, I'll show you, they'll have some stretchable lines. There's 4 lines that you can stretch across that opening and electrify those. So that'll serve as a gate. It's easy to put up, easy to take down. Don't have to hang a gate there. Well, this is our other divider fence on the next paddock. And once again, we come straight up, and then we'll have an access gate right here. A little tricky on this slope, but they're doing a great job. And they actually had a front mount mower, big field mower that goes on the front of this machine too, and that's what they mowed the strips with. He's guiding him to drive the posts in straight. He'll tell him to angle it a different way when he needs to. And you can see the string line along there too. That's how they get those nice straight lines with that string. We're down here at the Locust Grove at the Miller property. So this is where I think we're going to have stretchable cables that we can attach to the electric fence and just stretch across for a gate. Because this area here, property line is about where that corner post is coming this way. So this ridge here, I've grazed it once. Otherwise it gets real tall and there's buckthorn and saplings that come up. So now all I have to do is just take a temporary fence, come straight across here and attach to that, and we're done. So much nicer, much nicer. I don't have to drive any corner posts anymore to anchor it, and it's going to work really well. This is a black locust forest here, grove. We actually harvested some wood from there, and that's what I made the panels in the barn from. And also we had some kiln dried, and that's what they made the dresser top of our new home out of. It's all black locust, so that turned out really well. We have our third interior divider fence here coming up, and then, as I said, another gate right here. These 2 paddocks have plenty of shade trees, which is really nice. The other 2, with the brush piles, they'll be able to get some shade there. And there's some scrub trees starting to grow up there, and we'll probably leave those so they'll grow into shade trees for them. But lots of good grazing out here. I don't know if you can tell, when we fertilized over here this spring, the spreader throws a fertilizer 90 feet. So I had him go close along this fence. So it threw it over about 45 feet, and you can see the difference in the height of the grass. It goes down to about there, and then it doesn't grow as well. And we did that all along here. So this upper part all got fertilized, and it's really improved the forage. It's grown a lot better. You can see down there where it looks shorter, just not as dense and not as good. I don't think we can get down there with the spreader, and it's not that big a deal. It's just no easy way to get down there with one of those big spreaders. I'd be afraid of it tipping or getting stuck. So, but at least we can fertilize along the edge of this fence here, and that worked pretty well. And then the last gate for this last paddock, this was put in before. Obviously it's not in the corner, but sheep and the goats, they get trained to an open gate, and the dogs, they see an open gate, they run through. So really like the way this is working. And then that corner post is there. Let's go down the hill, and that will connect over there in the corner with the path right through there. So that's how far down that goes. These are the tensioning springs that keep the wires tight. You see it goes right up the line. And there's going to be another one over there for that line, and then one up there for the whole line going down that way. And then there's just a little tool that attaches to this, and you can adjust it either way. They need some adjustment over time. Trenching in the water line. For the superficial water line, it's about 18 inches underground. We use it spring, summer, and fall. Have to drain it in the winter. We have an existing line already over here, so we're just teeing into it, coming up. Then we're going to go up, and I think we're going to put a hydrant top out there, and another one up there about where that gas tank is. He's digging the trench for the line that comes over to the post, and then the faucet comes up and they fix that to the post so it's secure. So we'll dig that one out, and then go on up the line, dig the next one out, and then he'll dig the long trench down to connect it. This is going to be the underground connection between the two fences for it's a rubber coated wire. They run it underneath ground and connect to the fence. That way you don't have to worry about, tearing it down or anything. So he'll connect those two tracks right there. Put the wires on, stretch tight. You have to hang this gate yet, but they're in the process of getting it done. They got here about 10 o'clock this morning. This is the third day. And they're expecting to be done by noon, so we'll be able to graze this afternoon. And the gate is installed. Finishing up the paneling on the paddock here, the new paddock. Got a smaller gate here, 10-foot gate. And then that's the 20-foot entrance down there. We have our fencing all completed, so all I did was stretch a temporary fence across here. I shut all the gates here and over here, and I stretched a temporary fence here. I've got some goats that got out because this fence wasn't energized, so I got to drive them down first, and then we'll open this up and do a pasture change. They're all lined up, ready to go. All I got to do is open the gate. Come on. Here goes the dogs. Let's go. Go on. Go on, Garrett. Go. Go. Let her get going. So we got permanent fencing on both sides of this lane, which is nice. Starting a temporary fence down there, and there's an open gate. Of course, Leonard's dilly-dallying. Go on. Yeah, the problem is they're going to head back before they see the open gate. Go on. Go. Go on. Shh. Leonard. You little twerp. This may not work as good as I thought. Go. Shh. Shh. Shoo. Shh. Shh. Chip. Go on. Keep going. Shh. Go. Shh. Go on. Shh. Go on. Shh. Shh. There we go. Except for Leonard, I gotta get him. Shh. Get up there. Oh. Shh. That one sheep always cuts back. Nice thing was I had this gate here, opened it up, and those four went in there. However, I forgot to lock that gate. That's why they all ran over there. So I gotta go down and shut this gate and come back and drive them over here. It's what I like about the goats, and actually the sheep too. They really clear out a lot of weeds. There's some good grass out there, but they're just really going after these weeds here, which is great. That's what you want to see. And as they keep the weeds under control, then gives the grass a chance to come back and get thicker. They just kind of came down this section and just stopped. I don't know what that weed is, but they really do like it. Thank you for joining us at Norwal Farm.